this tutorial, I'm going to go through basic weather settings in Twinmotion based on the model that we've imported from 3ds Max. So first I'm going to import my 3ds Max file. So I'm going to go new scene and I'm going to go to the bottom toolbar here, click import, click the plus icon, go to geometry, your files, click open, and this is the Twinmotion export from the previous tutorial, and I'm just going to open that one here and import it. Okay, next you want to go into the right hand toolbar here, and underneath the scene you want to double click on ambience, and that will bring up this toolbar here, which allows you to basically just control the environment. So if we choose dynamic sky, we can choose how the sun appears. So first I'm just going to get rid of these sand dunes that automatically imported. So we've just got the site. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so we can see. Okay, yeah, here we go. So click on ambience and time of day. At the moment we've got it set to 10:30 in the morning. The more that we lower the time of day, you can see that these shadows are slowly changing based on the sun. So I'm just going to keep it at around midday. And next we can go into sky. So turbidity, delete that. Once we've chosen what time of day that we want to do, we're now going to add clouds to our scene. So 2D just means that the clouds are flat. However, just for detail, we want to choose volumetric. And from here, you can see the left hand of the scroll underneath the cloud presets is sunny, but the more we scroll over to the right, we get very cloudy in the middle and then slowly back to sunny. Volumetric allows us basically to just have 3D looking clouds. So I'm going to have it somewhere between sunny and cloudy, just so you can easily see it here. Oops. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the clouds are above, and you can also see that the shading of these buildings has also slightly changed. The height of the clouds can also affect these shadows. So the higher the clouds, the more sunlight that can peek through. So obviously the scene becomes a little bit brighter. If you have really low hanging clouds, the scene becomes a lot more moody. I'm going to set the clouds to about 1500, just so it's a bit moderate. Underneath appearance, you can choose the scale of your clouds as well. So here you go, you can see the clouds moving there. Vertical extent basically just shows, I guess, how poofy those clouds are. If you want really flat clouds, you'd have the vertical extent to 0%, but the more you scroll up, the more stretched out vertically that those clouds become. I'm going to keep it around 50%. Flat bottom, basically similar thing. It shows how dense the bottom of those clouds are. So if I have it down at 100%, you can see that the shadow underneath those clouds, on the clouds, are really, really dense. The more I move it, the less so. So I'm going to keep it at 0%. Okay. Next, I'm going to keep scrolling down to season. So this is where you can control how rainy your scene is. So on the first scroll bar, you can see that the umbrella is closed, so that means sunny. The more I scroll it to the center, the more you're going to start seeing rain. So if I have it directly in the center, that's going to be the maximum amount of rain. And you can see in the simulation that there's now rain coming from those clouds. You can also do the same with snow. So snow is going to be this one here. Obviously there's no snow on the site, so I'm not going to have any snow. And we also don't have trees, so I'm not going to do anything with the trees because they won't be affected because there aren't any there. So I'm going to turn the scene back to rainy. So pretend it's raining on Glenferrie Station. If I go onto details, we can change the visibility of the rain here. So when precipitation is clicked and we change the brightness boost, you can see here the rain is a little bit easier to see as it shows up as a bit more white on the simulation. If I have it down as 0, the rain looks really, really faint. Just for clarity, I'm going to change the brightness boost to 1 so that the rain is really visible in the simulation. Surface effects, so on the tops of these buildings, where it's white, you can really see how wetness is created on the top of those buildings. If we want to decrease that a little bit, wetness to -1, you can see that it becomes really streaky, and it's not really what you would want in a simulation. If I change wetness to +1, it does the same thing. So by keeping it in the middle, kind of creates a bit more of a natural effect, even though the buildings are all white. It's not exactly natural, but that's okay. We're going to keep that in the middle just for a little bit of realism. The puddle size, I'm going to show this on the terrain here. So if I scroll in a little bit, and to mess with the puddle size, if we want really large puddles, you can start to see puddles popping up on the tops of the buildings here and on the land. You can kind of see it. When you've got clouds that are a little bit less dense, the sunshine will reflect and show the puddles a little bit clearer. If I have no puddles, -1, but if I want lots of puddles, it'll be +1. I'm going to have it at around 0.5, just so you can see it, but it's not too overwhelming. And then I'm going to go to wind. So make sure that it's enabled so that you can change the speed and the direction. Speed just shows how fast that rain is coming down. So you can see here, the wind is really strong when the speed is closer to 5. So if I just rotate the camera a little bit, you can see that the rain is going diagonally here, and you can change the direction. So the direction will always be automatically set to 10 degrees. However, if you want really crazy wind, maybe in a storm, you can see that now it's going in this direction at 168 degrees. Or if you want it flat, you can do 360 degrees or just 0 degrees. And if I want to decrease the speed of the wind, the rain will fall more vertically. However, when I increase the speed, it will go more diagonally in the direction that we've chose to change here. Next, if we want fog, say it's a rainy day and it's a bit foggy, make sure it's enabled. Density just basically shows how thick that fog is. So as I slowly increase the scroll bar, you can see that the scene starts to become a lot more murky. Say like this one here, and you can see that. Alright, so now the visibility is a lot less. So with this low visibility, the fog is really amplified and it looks like a stormy day. The height of the fog we can also change, similar to the clouds. Say we want really low fog, so very low visibility to the ground. I'm going to scroll closer to the ground here. You can see that the fog is very close to the ground. The more we make the height a negative number, the higher it will be in the sky. So here you can't really see it, but if I keep it around here, the scene looks a little bit more natural. And yeah, those are the basic settings on how to create climate and a bit of atmosphere in Twinmotion based on the model that we've imported from 3ds Max.